Juniper, medlar, and white cedar were in the old cemetery, which was laid out like an accounting book, each grave beside the next, listing the names of the dead. In the new cemetery, the graves lay tucked away in enclosures like parks. It felt like we were in the city zoo, but there were no donkey noises and no sign of any parrots. Bicycle riding, singing, and loud noise-making are punishable by law. The crematorium was located in the center. You reached it by walking up the wide steps of a brick building from the 20s, where you noticed the high chimney that had been incorporated into the architecture. The chimney wasn't smoking. They hadn't started yet. Father was afraid that Aunt Sylvie would come, but there was no need to worry. She didn't show. Frau District Court Counselor Valkentine was there, though. "Funny," she whispered. "All the old ones are dying off now." The mother of her best friend, Herr Papst from the Loignitstrasse, had passed away recently, and now my grandfather. There was something cinema-like about the hall. At the front of the auditorium, the coffin was covered with many wreaths. Half the city knew him, old Herr Kempowski. The 100-mark wreath from Consul Discha, by golly, was all the way in the front. The pastor raised his arms and said, "A light in the darkness. Such a man is rare." He had never been too big on going to church, though. He hadn't even attended his own wife's burial. My father had a photograph taken of the grave to show him how uncared for it was. But the old man hadn't wanted to look at the photo, not once. Speaking to a waiter, he'd once declaimed, "Jesus is my life, and death my reward. He won't give me anything more, and has put me out of mind." Then it was time, and the coffin rode away calmly, steadily, without shaking or trembling. How quietly all the dead are resting. The lodge song, as my mother called it. The women's eyes welled up with tears, and the men's voices trembled. The musician up above at the harmonium gave it his all. A light in the darkness. The fire turned blue from the heat in the furnace, my mother told us. The corpse reared up one last time and then crumbled. "You play such beautiful piano," my mother said to my father on the tram, "but you can't even sing a simple chorale. You get everything completely mixed up. You really should be ashamed." After military funerals, they played the most cheerful marches, my father told us. They start with funeral marches, but then once the dead man has been buried, everyone must sing and be merry.